What's good, guys? So, let's take this fanny pack off. Now that I'm at the gym, I don't need to be carrying it around. I just like to use the fanny pack when I'm walking around because, to be honest, to be fair, if I put stuff in my pockets, whenever I sit down, it falls out of my pockets. So, I'm a big supporter of the good old fanny pack. So, it is 1st of August, Thursday, which means it's training session number 2 of the week. We got legs today, and I'm in a new gym today actually. Or new, I say, a gym that I haven't trained at before. It's been here for a while. It's called Cartel. It's located in Oxley in Brisbane, and it's a pretty sick gym from what I've heard. Michaela's here training with one of our friends, and I'm just going to do my own thing because, one, I can't really train that hard at the moment, so no one really wants to train with me. I don't really want to train with anyone either. I don't want to ruin their session. And 2, I just like training on my own, to be honest. So I've mixed up my EAAs. Got the raw energy, or not raw energy, raw EAA. There's nothing energetic about it really. There's no caffeine or anything. So basically what you got in here is your essential aminos, and you got some sodium chloride in there, or some sodium I should say, some salt. And if you separate the sodium from the chloride, in the sodium chloride, you're looking at 39 milligrams of sodium per serve or per scoop. So that's pretty handy when you've got a 1500 milligram per day sodium limit. So that's what I'll be sipping on. It's strawberry lemonade flavor. I've already had one Rice Krispie treat, or I should say LCM. That's what they're called in Australia, LCM. I might have a second one actually. You know what? Yeah, I will. Because I haven't had breakfast today, guys. I haven't had a pre-workout meal either. I've rocked up fasted, aside from the small coffee I had this morning when I went on my usual daily morning walk down to the lake. So every day I basically start my day the same. My morning routine currently is I wake up, go to the toilet, I weigh myself, I measure my blood pressure, I measure my resting heart rate, and I basically put all that data into a tracker, which I'm currently tracking. And then, I go for my morning walk, which is about 4,000 steps fasted, there and back. I get my coffee at the lake. There's a nice cafe there where I can just sit down, enjoy the cool weather, overlook the lake while I drink my coffee. And then I come home and usually have breakfast, my morning medication, and get the day started from there. But today it's a little bit different. I didn't have time for breakfast, so I just kind of rushed through the morning, got my morning walk done, weighed myself, tested my blood pressure, heart rate, that sort of thing. I still did all the important stuff. I just haven't really eaten, aside from that coffee, of course, on my morning walk, and then also one LCM bar or Rice Krispie treat. So I'll have one more of those. So I've got at least 40 carbs in me. I'll sip on this now and then also throughout my session, and attack the leg session. Given that I'm training at a different gym though, guys, I might experiment a little bit, play around with equipment, because at the moment, I'm not really progressively overloading my training. There's no real linear progression built into it because I'm not allowed to train hard. So what I'll do is I'll just probably play around, choose different bits and pieces of equipment. As long as I get in a hamstring isolation movement, a squat pattern, potentially some sort of hinge if I'm feeling up to it, maybe a glute extension, like on a GHD or on a hyperextension bench, and then some sort of leg extension. I'm pretty happy. Maybe throwing some calves, some side delts as well, because I didn't do side delts on the Monday like I normally do. So might be a bit of a longer session. Heck, I might even throw in some abs. Just base it off of how I'm feeling. Like if I'm feeling low in energy and spent by the time I do my usual stuff, I'll just stop it there. If I've got the gas, if I've got the energy, if I don't feel like it's going to be deleterious, I might throw in a little bit of light side delts, a little bit of light abs, because heck, it's not going to really hurt. If anything, it'll just help. Because the biggest mistake people make, I think, when they're recovering their heart health is they're too overly cautious. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to break any PRs or PBs or put myself under any unwanted stress or load, but your heart is a muscle, and you need to get some blood flow, some use, I guess, to kind of promote and facilitate in recovery. It's like anything. Like if you see a physio and a physio says rest for your injury, they're probably a bad physio. I think the same thing goes for cardiologists a lot of the time. Like if they say complete and utter rest, you probably should get a second opinion. And so I'm a big believer in second opinions. I'll always see more than one professional. And yeah, I mean, the vast majority of cardiologists will say doing light exercise, some light resistance training, some light cardio is actually beneficial and conducive to recovery. And it will, I suppose, yield a superior outcome to just complete sedentary life. So, yeah. Oh, that is so good. I did forget to wash out my shaker though, so it's a little bit pungent. What I might do actually, might have one of the smaller chocolate chip ones. So I already had one of the original marshmallow. These ones are kind of like miniature size though, they're real small. So yeah, plan of action is a half-assed leg session. We'll head out from here. We might actually get food out today. I've budgeted room for a burger at a place called Grilled. They keep their sodium levels very low. I haven't had an off-plan meal really at all since the whole incident. So very smart with my diet. Usually I'm meticulous with tracking everything. One meal's not going to hurt out, or one meal out's not going to hurt, I should say. So we might do that, just so I can take my medication sooner rather than later, because we meant to take it with food. So we'll see how we go, see how my fiance goes, how we go for time. If time permits, we might get one of those burgers. If I do, I'll record a little bit of it, show you what I get, and the modifications I make to kind of make it more heart-friendly, I guess. But yeah, that'll be the plan, and then head home, dive into check-ins. It's Thursday, so it's a pretty busy day for me. I think about 10 check-ins today, so I'll get that sorted, and then it'll be I'm expecting a call from the endocrinology team today too at the hospital, so see how that goes. But yeah, pretty sure the only seated hamstring curl here is currently out of order, so it'll be the lying hamstring curl, which means in order to fully effectively train my hamstrings today, which is important seeing as I'm only training everything once a week at the moment, I'm going to need to do some sort of, some sort of hip hinge, because the hamstring obviously acts over the hip joint and the knee joint. So to effectively train the hamstring, we want to kind of have the hip in flexion while we're going through loaded flexion and extension at the knee joint. So the seated hamstring curl allows you to more effectively fully train the hamstring if you're only doing one movement for the hamstrings. But if you're not doing a seated hamstring curl or a hamstring curl where the hip's in flexion, some measurable degree, or maximal hip flexion, then you want to do like a lying hamstring curl plus a hip hinge of some sort, a loaded hip hinge. So what I'll probably do is this, and then some glute extensions on like a 45-degree hyper. So warm up set first. Probably stick to 40 today. Like I said, playing it very conservatively. Goal isn't to actually work the muscle, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to do that right now. The goal is to just get some blood flow in the area and prevent some degree of muscle atrophy. Prevent as much muscular atrophy as possible. So that's the ultimate goal. Yeah. See if I can, oh no. range of motion is maxed out, unfortunately. Feels like I'm bottoming the machine out at the top a little bit. So I'm just going to have to try to stay in that bottom to mid-range a little bit more. So at 12 on that first set. It's really hard for me to honestly gauge, guys, like 3 or 4 reps from failure. Because when you're used to just kind of going all out, you always kind of question in the back of your mind, like, was that 4 reps from failure, or was that 6, or heck, was it 3? Like, it's, I feel like anywhere from like 4 reps or even 3 reps from reserve upwards, so like 3 reps in reserve to like 7 reps in reserve, if you want to go that far. It's all kind of a blurry, murky territory. It's hard to kind of accurately discern between those. So I might be overshooting or undershooting a little bit, but if I feel good, I don't really care. As long as I'm not placing too much stress on my heart or my body, to the point to which I notice anything, I'm not alarmed. But I'll just stay vigilant, essentially. Alright, so I found this. It's a GHD. It's actually really well built. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the newer techno gym equipment, but some pieces they've absolutely nailed, and this one is one of them. Just, it's so easy to adjust it. And I've set it up in a way where I can just maximize hip flexion, loaded hip flexion, and then fully extend at the knee. So I'm kind of using the hamstrings maximally, keeping the glutes out of it a little bit more, or not necessarily keeping the glutes out of it, just incorporating more hamstring involvement, I should say. It doesn't really do anything to the glute involvement directly. I guess indirectly it reduces the glute involvement because the hamstrings are playing a bigger role or contributing more to the actual concentric phase. But basically, yeah, full extension at the knees and just basically doing body weight for the hip flexion. I would add weight, but again, like I said, guys, my goal isn't to actually train hard at the moment. And on top of that too, I did get blood taken for my blood thinner medication, so I'm on something called the warfarin program, where you essentially get SMSs telling you or informing you of your warfarin dose, which is a blood thinner, and also your INR reading for that day, and they tell you when you're due for your next blood test. Because I'm quite new on the program, I've been getting my blood taken every day. It's recently been changed to every other day or every 3 days, which is good because my veins are starting to roll and collapse from just the constant blood being drawn from all my veins. Like, none of them had a break since I was in hospital, where I was getting blood taken every 3 hours. Actually, every 3 hours they were coming in, taking blood from a new vein, not using a cannula, literally getting a new vein every time. So I've got basically injection tracks all up my arms. I look like a junkie. It's really embarrassing. But I had my blood take today, so I don't want to be like lifting anything heavy with my arms and risk kind of bruising, or not risk bruising, but risk any unnecessary level of bruising. There's going to be a little bit of bruising regardless because I am on anticoagulants, blood thinners, and I'm getting blood drawn. So there'll be a little bit of a bruise regardless what I do, but I don't want to cause any kind of bursting of veins or collapsing of veins, that sort of thing. So taking it easy, body weight, GHD, or body weight glute extensions on the GHD. Then it'll be time for calves, and I'll probably do calf raises next. Then I'll do my squatting pattern. Then I'll do my leg extensions to finish off. And from there, I'll go into some lateral work and some abs if I've got the time and if I feel like it. And if it's time to burn after that, I'll just do my steps, do some steps or some light cardio on the elliptical or the recumbent bike. Now for this second set, this final set, I will say I'm not sure what the audio quality is like at the moment because again, different environment, different kind of audio layout in the gym. Stereos are a little bit better quality here, so it might be a little bit more interfering. Or it might be a little bit more interference, I should say, with the audio. And I also changed the amount of decibels of the microphone. So instead of being set at 12 decibels, which is what the microphones have set at last video, they're set at 9. I just want to see if this better isolates the voice without, I suppose, negatively impacting it. Like I figured less decibels is going to pick up less of the background noise, but it could potentially also pick up less of my voice. Hopefully not. My thought was if it's not too much of a reduction, we'll see like a lowering of decibels from the background noise, but no change to the voice because it's so close in terms of proximity to the microphone. But we'll see how things go. Again, it's a work in progress. I'll slowly learn these microphones. I might watch a YouTube video later today to figure out how to better dial in and calibrate the settings for in the gym, because I'm sure somebody's created a video somewhere. So I'll look into that, but in the meantime, just bear with me guys, be patient. I'll slowly figure this out because it is a better, different microphone to the one that I'm used to using. Anyway, heart rate's looking pretty good, I think. Let's see where it's sitting at. It's 95 beats per minute after that set. Oh wow, it's actually low. It's 75, 80 beats per minute, so definitely good to go again. Second and final set. Again, resting as long as I need to. Not trying to set any personal records here. just did a warm-up set. 1 plate per side. It feels pretty good. Honestly, it feels a little bit heavier than the belt squat I normally use. But I'm still going to try 2 plates. See how it goes, see how it fares against the hammer strength belt squat. I'm probably going to get buried or just do less reps, but we'll see how things go. So 2 sets of this, and then it'll be on to the leg extensions. And to finish off with some like side delts and some abs if I got the time and the energy. Definitely harder than the hammer strength. So have a decent rest, do 1 more set of these and call it at that, I reckon, for the belt squat. Now, given that my hormone levels are completely crashed at the minute, I've got no testosterone and no estrogen, my knees don't feel too good. Feel pretty shit, to be honest. So what I'll do is I'll probably call this set a little bit shorter than usual. Maybe leave an extra rep in the tank on top of what I'm already doing, just to play it safe. And then onto leg extensions to finish the leg training off. Or if I can find an adductor machine, I might do that instead of leg extensions. We'll see. If it's a good adductor machine. If it's a shit one, I won't, but if it's a good one, I will. Get some good music on. There we go. That is that for belt squat. Nice and conservative. So I had a look around. There's no, well, there is a adductor machine, but it's not a good one. It's a pretty shitty one. So I was hoping it might be like a Panada adductor machine, but it's a Technogym one. So what I'll do is leg extensions, 2 sets of this, 12 to 20 reps, 2 reps from failure, nice and controlled eccentrics, pause at the peak contraction. And the good thing about the Technogym ones that I like is you get a good range, like you can really kind of load the stretch a lot better than say on a hammer strength or a light fitness like extension, where the range of motion just doesn't go quite as far. So it's one thing that Technogym really nailed when it comes to the leg extensions, and that is the range of motion that you're able to load. So nice and light, probably about 50% of the load that I used to use from my working sets for the same number of repetitions. Again, purpose of training, or the goal and focus of training, is not what it has been historically right now. It's just helping aid in and improve the recovery. Can't even speak right now. Brain has no blood flow to it. The recovery of the cardiovascular system. So that's what I'm primarily focusing on. So 2 sets of this, and then I'll do carbs, because the carb machine keeps getting taken. It's been preoccupied the whole time that I've been in the gym. Hence the reason why I didn't do it beforehand. One thing I noticed on that first set was I had the, I should say, shin support pad one notch too high. Now, it's not going to be like a deal breaker in whether or not the exercise is effective. By most standards, it's still effective even if you have it set a little too high. But you're just creating an easier movement by doing so. Whereby if you lower it as much as you possibly can, while still not making it mechanically disadvantageous for your levers, you're going to make the movement more challenging because you're just extending the moment arm. Right, set 2. Okay. Final movement of the actual leg session, and then it's time to go into the couple of accessories. I've got the laterals and the ab training 5 at a time. So 2 sets of this, maybe 3 if it's feeling good, but I'll start with 2 and just commit to that initially. Reps 12 to 20 again. I'm not really caring how many, you're not really counting specifically, you're just getting within a few reps of failure. close enough to failure, 2 reps away. I'd say you got 16 on that, probably would have failed around 21. So 4 or 5 reps in reserve. Now one thing that is a little bit depressing, guys, that I've noticed is, I mean, my forearms still aren't small by most people's general standards, but by my standards, because they are such a genetic strong point, I've noticed with the abstinence of training for nearly 1 to 2 months, I should say, until recently, and even so, I can't really consider my training at the minute training. So with an abstinence of like 2 months of training, like no training for 2 months, my forearms have atrophied quite a bit just from not having to grip anything heavy. Now I know they're going to come back very quick when I can train properly, but it's depressing and deflating because I always used to like and take pride in my big forearms because I've had them ever since I was a kid, like naturally. But yeah, they'll come back. This too shall pass, just like anything in life. This isn't forever, it's not permanent. And I need to remind myself that it is but a phase in my life. It's about 3 to 4 reps from failure, I reckon. A little bit closer because I matched reps matched reps to what I got in the first set. But obviously a little bit more fatigue, a little bit closer to failure. The lateral raise machine is currently being used. And I just realised I haven't really been isolating my rear delts at all since my big hiatus from lifting. So given that I'm doing back and triceps in 2 days' time, I'm going to indirectly hit rear delts when I train back, especially in like my high kind of position rowing movements. So I might as well do some rear delt accessories today, and then I'll do some lateral delt accessories on that day, so that way I'm hitting everything twice in the 1 week. Once directly, once indirectly on either day. Might have to lower the weight. Didn't actually look at the weight. Go. There we go. I actually really like this machine, to be honest. So the way it's kind of designed is it's actually very heavy in that fully lengthened position at the end there. and it gets easier as you move through the mid-range and get to the end range. Or end range, or you know what I mean. As you get toward the peak contractor, it gets easier. As you get into the deep stretch, it gets harder and more challenging. So it's kind of perfect, the fourth scope, in my opinion, for the rear delts. So yeah, I'll do 2 more sets of this. I reckon I'll do 3 of this, and then maybe some abs, or if the lateral machine's free, lateral raise machine, I might do that instead of abs. See how we go. Whatever I don't do today, I'll do on my back and tricep day, that's for sure. Whether that be abs or side delts. I'll do one of those today and the other one on my back tricep day in 2 days' time, will be Saturday. In terms of load, as long as I don't use too much momentum, this is like the perfect weight, I reckon. Now, the weight that I've got on this machine at the minute is what I would consider being the perfect amount of weight for me at this given point in time. Now, if I were to be moving sloppier, not standardizing my technique, my perception, my initial perception might be, oh, the weight is too light. But that's the reason why I stress the importance of standardizing your technique and moving with intent to all my athletes and clients. It's not about simply just moving the weight from point A to point B. I mean, it goes without saying that is part of the whole goal of weight training. We want to move the load from the starting position to the end position, rinsing and repeating, but that doesn't entail or encompass everything. We want to standardize our execution, make sure that our setup, our technique, the range of motion, the tempo or the cadence or the speed of the repetitions are all as consistent as possible from rep to rep and set to set. Because if we don't have all of those things standardized, then how do we know if we're truly progressing? Because compromisation of any one or more of those things, rep speed or cadence or range of motion, is going to give us the illusion that we are progressively overloading the movement or progressing on the movement over time when we're able to add more load, when we are in fact not progressing at all. Because if we say compromise on our range of motion, the range of motion gets shorter or we get sloppy with our technique, we might be able to move more load from say last week to this week, but that doesn't mean we got stronger this week. That doesn't mean we've actually progressed in any way this week. It just means that we've gotten slack with our performance, and that's allowed us to basically, I suppose, give ourselves the illusion that we've actually made progress. So it's really important that we standardize our execution, standardize the reps, both how we perform them and the speed at which we're doing them, that sort of thing. And then if you're able to add load while keeping all those variables consistent, we know it's true progress. But if we don't keep all those variables consistent, keep the conditions constant from session to session, then we can't really say with any level or degree of certainty that we're actually progressing. We can't say that we're causing more mechanical tension over time or bringing more tissue if we're just getting quicker with our reps week to week, or shorter with our range of motion week to week and then slapping on more weight. That's not progression. It's only progression if all other variables remain as consistent as possible while that one variable, the load, increases over time. Food for thought.